Welcome to day 261 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today we're talking about contribution growth. Of course, we're focusing on contribution growth this entire month. And our topic today is, how do you know the right balance of giving for you? Now, I often think of giving and work as kind of the same categories of what we do and how we show up in the world. And for me personally, I was not particularly good at balance. I'm going to say I'm not awesome at balance. If people are talking about work-life balance or giving balance, same kind of thing. How much is the right amount for you to contribute? How much energy, time, other resources, volunteering, etc. What is the right balance for you between living your life, doing the things that you have to do, and then actually giving back to your community, the causes that you care about, things that are around you, people you love and care about? What is the right balance for you? We have got Benjamin's story in Guide to the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page. But I will talk about, I guess I'll talk about my experience a little bit because that is the one I am most familiar with. When it comes to work-life balance, I have always had an underlying belief that it's kind of BS, and that each and every one of us, what's balanced for us at any given time in our life is going to be, different than for other people. When I was raising my family and my kids were little, there was a whole lot more emphasis, and I think it's more about priorities and prioritization than it is actually divvying up the resources, meaning time, energy, money, etc. I think it's about us making sure that our priorities are aligned with our core values, and that our core values are aligned with the organizations or the causes that we support. And we choose based on what else is going on in our life and what other responsibilities and obligations we have. If you got to get up and go to work every day, 5 days a week, you have a great deal of your time already allotted for and committed. And so that's going to leave less opportunities to contribute in a volunteer way, right? So how do we know? How do we decide? And I have a couple of litmus tests that are perfect for me. Number one, how does something make me feel? If I am working 16 hours a day for an extended period of time, how does that make me feel? Pretty crappy, pretty overwhelmed, pretty exhausted. Therefore, that behavior, in the short term, I can do it, but in the long term, that is not going to be the right balance for me. And the same is true of our contribution growth in terms of how we give, when we give, where we give, how we participate, etc. We're going to have to figure that out for us. Well, how do you do that? Number one, self-reflection, right? And self-reflection, to me, one of the biggest things is, how does that make me feel when I do something? If I feel good and energized when I'm contributing or volunteering for something, that is a clear sign to me that this is an activity that's right for me, and I'm probably doing the right amount of it. Or if I feel compelled to do more, then I can give more and do more. But it's always tapping into and paying attention to. And I learned this, I think, from, I don't remember who I learned it from. It's been so long ago, but maybe it was Rika Zimmerman. I don't remember. It was one of those personal development people and mindset people that teaches us, because I follow hundreds of them and have over the years, over the decades. And she says, or he, I can't remember, and I've probably heard it more than once, our body is our greatest consciousness facilitator. If we want to know what's really going on with us, self-reflection wise, listen to your body. Your body will say exactly what you need to know when you need to know it, if you're listening and paying attention. That's why our stomachs growl when we're hungry. It's giving us a sign that, hey, time to eat. I need some energy here. So another thing we want to do, so listen to your body. How does it make you feel? Again, if things make you feel good, they're good for you. If they make you feel bad or off or anything negative, they are not right for you. So stop doing them, right? I think I've shared the story this month already that I got involved with a nonprofit group following my sudden cardiac arrest. Prior to that, never even thought of cardiac arrests, right? But I thought, well, I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to get involved with this particular group. I'm not going to say the group, doesn't matter. But I realized through time, as I got to know the organization better, that their core values and mine did not match. Now, I was their ideal client or customer, or who they were raising money for, and my core values didn't match theirs. And so I stopped participating in that organization. When it didn't feel right or good to me, I found another cause, another thing to be involved in that did feel right for me. Prioritize your commitments. Again, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. When I had young kids, my priorities were different than they are now, than they were even after they went off and started their own lives. Set boundaries. Some of us are very bad at setting boundaries. Some of us don't pay that much attention to other people's boundaries because we're just not paying that much attention. But setting boundaries and letting people know what to expect, sharing expectations, is a terrific way to help, number one, communicate what your expectations are and what your contribution is going to be, but also understand what and how that impacts the rest of the organization, the rest of the group, or the rest of the cause that you're involved in. Setting boundaries is good, both at work as well as with giving and balance and volunteering. Embrace intentional giving. Now, this is something that was kind of new to me when I started studying and learning more about contribution and giving. Giving for the sake of giving is different than giving with intention. Meaning, if I'm going to spend my time and energy and volunteer for something, I'm going to actually investigate that and make sure it's a match for me more than if I'm just writing a check for something. So there's things that we support on the surface level, and there's things that are a match for our values, and we actually personally want to get involved in those things. And we want to be intentional about it. We should be intentional about our lives, but mostly we just go running through them with very little intention. I'm speaking in generalities of most human beings. And that means it applies to me too, and sometimes I do that as well. And then finally, we want to incorporate self-care. If we don't take care of ourselves, guess what? We got nothing to give. If we die, we have nothing to give. If we don't have any energy or any resources or any knowledge or wisdom or energy to share that, then it doesn't matter. If we don't take care of ourselves first and foremost, and I know that's hard for many mothers and grandmothers and people to remember and keep in mind, but we got to take care of ourselves. We have to do our self-care in order to be there for the people that we love and care about. So our action item today is simply to share in the comments below one way that you find the balance between giving and, I don't want to say receiving, but between giving of yourself, contributing, and the rest of your life. How do you personally find that balance? Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. To me, it's a work in progress because, like I said, if I have this underlying belief that I don't believe that balance is possible for me, what's the probability that I am ever going to feel or experience balance in my life, in any area of my life? Something to ponder today. All right, any questions? Hit me up. You can always find me here or in a lot of different areas in social media. Just ask any questions you have, because I guarantee if you've got a question, somebody else does too. Have a great day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.